Hey everyone, welcome to the April Fragrance Awards. I can hardly believe that May is tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, this is my opportunity to share with you my thoughts and opinions on many of the fragrances that I wore over the past month. I can't get them all in, but we're probably going to talk about maybe 20 or 21 fragrances today, quite the variety. I also want to share that there are some new ones in here. Not all of them worked out. I shot my own So Avant-Garde sale at the end of March where we do the 30% off weekend, and then I turned around and heavily shopped the Sephora sale. I think I placed in total 6 orders. It was wild, and I had a blast shopping. My Sephora ones worked out. Some of the So Avant-Garde ones did not work out. Anyway, we'll get into all of that. So these are all imaginary award categories out of my mind just for perfume entertainment and chat. I have a question for you though. For those of you that have been watching for a while, are there any additional categories that you're really interested in seeing? I think I'm kind of ready to shake things up and change the award categories around. I would be interested in hearing your thoughts. First category is best for the season. April is a really great month here in Virginia. It starts to warm up. We had some lovely 70 and 80-degree days here, and things started to bloom. We went through some crazy pollen. You know, the thing with pollen is if you're lucky enough to get a rain right after the pollen starts, it's not that bad. But we had a good week where it didn't rain and the pollen was like, it felt like 9 inches thick. Of course, it was not that thick, but you know what I mean? Anyway, everything's blooming. We had some beautiful warm days. We have a creek behind our house. So the frogs started to croak. All of the sort of insects started to do their evening songs and all of that. And I really enjoy the peace of the month of April and the hope of warmth that comes with this month. The fragrance that I chose for this category is called Breathe Me. The brand is Michella Mezzetti. There are 3 in this lineup so far that I'm aware of. I haven't checked out the full brand to see if there's more. And these are available on ScentSplit. There's one called Lick Me that hate the name, hate it, is like a vanilla ice creamy kind of smell. And then there's one called Pop Me that I think is like a caramel popcorn drizzle smell. I have a sample of Pop Me on the way and I'll review that in a future video. This is one that I sampled and then told ScentSplit that I really liked it. And so they gifted me the bottle and I love it. I think this is such a fantastic, fun, bright, very sort of late 80s, early 90s-esque type of summer scent or spring scent. It's categorized as a floral aquatic. Of course, when I think of aquatics, I think of sort of 90s, early 90s fragrances that were exploring aquatic kinds of notes. It's supposed to remind you of a journey through the windswept landscapes of Tuscany, where I have never been, but I've seen plenty of movies featuring the gorgeous landscape there, where the salty sea breeze dances with the golden glow of citrus accords. Yes, it's breezy, sort of sea air, salty, citrus, happy, very light, fresh, and certainly takes you back to being sort of seaside, if you will. Even if you've never been to Tuscany, perhaps you've had an opportunity to be seaside, particularly in the morning as the fresh ocean air is breezing up to your nose, and perhaps you're having breakfast on a patio and it includes some citrus. Imagine that kind of vibe. As the fragrance progresses, you get some light, fun, vibrant florals. It has a lovely note of wisteria. Wisteria were blooming here like crazy in April, and I really enjoy the waft of smell that it brings. You know, wisteria has that sort of purpley vibe to it. I think of like a lighter version of perhaps a lilac mixed with a hyacinth note. If you're not familiar with what wisteria smells like, it's very sort of wispy. It could smell a little bit like old-fashioned soap sometimes, but I think it just works in here. The saltiness, the sort of sea breezy air, the wisteria, and then there's a lot of warmth in the base. I believe there's amber as a note. It stays floral, almost like a cosmetic type of floral, and I just find it pleasant and light and reminiscent of the early 90s in a way that I find really pleasing. It sort of harkens me back to being youthful, footloose, and fancy-free, spending a lot of time outdoors in the sunshine, right when things are blooming, being seaside somewhere. I love that it has this sort of bike on here. I don't ride these bikes. Y'all, I can barely ride a regular two-wheel bike. I have to have some training wheels on. I learned to ride a regular a regular two-wheel bike when I was out of college. Can you believe that? Well, you know, I grew up in the city in New York where, I mean, nobody was really like riding bikes around. You took the subway and the public bus and you walked everywhere. So there was no need for me to learn how to ride a bike. Anyway, I certainly walked along seasides. I didn't ride a bike, but you can get the idea of the vibe of this fragrance by thinking about like a bike ride seaside with flowering gardens nearby. And there are purpley flowers in the garden beds. Anyway, lovely, very unique and interesting fragrance. The next category is the best everyday fragrance, and I'm with this vibe. This is the vibe of maybe 2025 for me. This and something like this that has some coziness to it. So clean and fresh, cozy and fresh, and gentle and delicate. That is the vibe for me lately. But this is Marc Jacobs. Perfect. And this is the Eau de Toilette version. I have tried the regular Eau de Parfum, lovely as well. The Intense is fabulous. I think I tried, yes, I tried the Elixir as well. They're all great in their own ways. But in terms of my personal preference and vibe lately, it has been fragrances like this. This is kind of, to me, the unsung hero of the Marc Jacobs lineup, all of it, the daisies and everything. Nobody really talks about the EDT version. This is a very fresh, woody fragrance. To me, it's primarily a soft, easygoing woodiness with florals, like almost soapy florals sitting on top. It has just a touch of powderiness and like a little sprinkling of spice to it, but primarily it's clean, woody, and soapy floral in a way that just suits me. The kind of fragrance you can easily douse on, put your white t-shirt on and your jeans and go about your business and know that you smell clean and fresh and delightful, inoffensive. No one's going to be bothered by your scent, and you might get accused of smelling pleasant, smelling clean. Let me tell you about a compliment that I got recently that just kind of surprised me. Of all the fragrances that I wear, friends, I went to a counter to have a service done to my car, and the lady behind the counter said, "Wow, I love how you smell today." And I was like, "Me?" Because I had nothing on. I was wearing soap, liver soap. I love liver soap, the original blue one. And I guess she smelled that. So I was pretty surprised, me out here wearing all of these beautiful fragrances, and someone goes out of their way to compliment me on me smelling like soap. I didn't even have like hair products in my hair. It was wild. Okay, anyway, best every day, really easy going. It's hard to go wrong with a fragrance like this if you just want to smell clean, kind of floral soapy. This is it. In the category of special occasion, a house that I have really enjoyed getting to know in the latest edition of my collection is ETAT de Grace from Plume Impression. This is a really strong, complex, powerful fragrance, heavy on the patchouli and heavy on the oak moss. Those of you that are shipper lovers, you may want to get your nose on this. There's a little discovery set for this brand. So Avant Garde sells it. I don't know if they have it in stock. If so, I'll try to link it underneath the link for this one. And I'm not sure where else sells Plume Impression, but if you're not interested in a bottle, but you want to sample it out, that might be a way to go. This is heavy on the florals and heavy on the patchouli and the oak moss. No denying. There's also cedar wood in the base. So it comes across primarily woody as the sort of dominant backdrop of the fragrance with a little bit of florals and maybe even a touch of spice on it. The florals here, carnation at the top and tuberose and peony in the middle. It says there's an apricot note. I don't really pick up something fruity, maybe a tad bit of fruitiness, but primarily this is a heavy floral with dense woods. Like the woodiness here is dense. It's very crisp. It's very sort of linear and clean and structured. This one has a strong, rather distinct scent profile when you want to stand out from the crowd, particularly at a special occasion when people are already wearing lots of heavy fragrances around you and you want to stand apart from the crowd. This might be a good choice. Adjectives that I would use to describe it would be bold, crisp, clean, complex. It almost comes across as though it has a deep plum note, similar to the plum that's in Marc Jacobs Decadence, if you remember that fragrance. There's no plum in the note structure that I know of. It's like a linear, structured, woody fragrance that is softened with edges of florals, a hint of spiciness. And if there is anything that's given it spice, it might be that carnation note at the top. I don't see any other spicy types of notes listed. In the category of sexiest fragrance, I went on and on about this fragrance in my recent fruity floral video. This is La Belle Flower, and this is a limited edition fragrance. I purchased this off of Ulta. I know you can purchase it off of the Jean Paul Gaultier website, and it's probably in other major retailers as well. I didn't see it on Sephora because I was looking for it to purchase it during the sale. Anyway, this was a blind buy that was initially, it felt like a fail when I first tried it on. The opening of this is very strong, very pungent. It's like a super duper concentrated Snapple peach tea smell that was a little off-putting for me. I am challenged by peach. Sometimes it's fantastic and sometimes I just don't play well with it. Anyway, I absolutely love this bottle with the ceramic flower and whatever this is in here. It looks like it's some kind of glass piece that represents the middle of the flower. As it continues to develop on you, evolve, change, morph, about an hour in, you get this really magnificent, much softer apricot peach smell with vanilla and a little patchouli, and it's just wonderful. I know there's a floral in here. I think it's magnolia that is the floral. I mean, perhaps that is what the flower here is supposed to represent. I don't know why I took this thing off to smell it. It doesn't matter. This is sort of around the collar to prevent you from accidentally spraying it down. This is a very grown up, mature, beautiful, sexy fragrance. Husband loved this on me. Like he was impressed with ETAT de Grace and how it filled the room and was like, ooh, this one was one that made him come in close to nibble on the neck kind of fragrance. It's feminine, it's bold, kind of harkens back to like a yesteryear, very sexy scent with a modern twist, very va-va-voom fragrance. Like I said, primarily an apricot-y, peachy, vanilla fragrance with a touch of patchouli to give it some depth and anchor it. And I think it's fantastic. You got to get your nose on this one if you can, except the thing is, I don't know where you can sample this. So that's why I blind bought it from Ulta. Anyway, worth every penny for me. Long lasting, very projecting, beast mode. In the category of biggest surprise, I am going with the highly anticipated Guava Granita from Ellis, Brooklyn. And there's two reasons why this is a surprise, and they are very contrasting, juxtaposed reasons. The first one, on the pro side, boy, is this a beautiful, tropical, juicy fragrance. Notes here that captured everyone's attention: guava, banana. Well, those are the two primary. There's water lily and bergamot at the top, bergamot. And then in the middle, coconut, melon, and mango blossom, and base of vanilla, almond milk, and sandalwood. So the promise of this fragrance to smell like a summer gourmand, if you will, with some depth, some oomph, was grand. And did it deliver? Yes, it did. And yes, it does. When you first spray this, the opening of this fragrance, if you are into tropical fruity smelling fragrances, is near perfection. You definitely pick up tropical, juicy drink. Imagine like a drink that has a lot of sort of mango pulp mixed up into it, banana, coconut mixed up. It's really quite thick, gives you the impression of being on like an island with lush vegetation. I think the ad for this was that you're sipping tropical drinks on a tennis court or something, and that just doesn't vibe for me. This very much reminds me of being on an upscale cruise. We're not talking about the cheap cruises, y'all. We're talking about the upscale cruise. The ones that you have to really, really save up for. They have an exclusive crowd. There's no kids allowed. I'm just kidding about all that. But am I though? Am I kidding? Anyway, you're on a tropical beach with a lovely mixed drink that probably cost you $34.50 plus tip. It truly is that juicy, fruity, tropical summer fragrance. So the surprise was how realistic the opening was and how much they nailed that guava, banana, and coconut type of combination. The shocker for me, and this is a con, is at least on me, on my skin. During the middle of the experience, my skin didn't smell that great. It smelled wonderful in the air. When my family walked by, they were like, "Ooh, wow, that's nice. That smells good, mom. That smells good, wife." However, if you were to put your nose right up on my skin, and I had my husband do this, it had this sort of plasticky smell right up close. So if you can tolerate that, this is a divine one to try out. If that type of thing is really off-putting for you, well, I don't know if that would happen for you. So let me know. Have you tried this and did you have that experience where it smelled off and weird on your skin, but fantastic in the air to everyone? So here's what I would say about this fragrance. When I wear it again, I am likely going to just spray it on skin and not on body. That said, friends, the smell is fantastic. The opening is just tropical divinity, tropical beauty. Okay. And as it settles down, you still get some of that tropical, lovely nature. Some of the vanilla comes out to play, the sandalwood a little bit more. So let me know your thoughts on this. I felt like the fragrance lasted pretty long. I did spray pretty heavily and it went through about dinner time before it was hard to detect. And I sprayed on in the morning. So let me know your thoughts if you have tried Guava Granita. Biggest surprise because it was both amazing and a little weird on my skin. So there you go. So then in the favorite blind buy category, and this is actually technically a blind buy that happened this month. This is from Mith and it's called Nude. I only have one other fragrance from this house called Mellow Musks, which you'll hear about again as we approach summer. It's fantastic. Kind of coconutty, musky, almost like an almondy, vanillic smell. This one is fantastic. I saw this hyped in some of my Facebook groups that I'm in, and I thought, let me give this a try. I love the color of this bottle. It really is lovely. Even the color of the little sticker, the peachy nature of it. This fragrance is said to smell like Nivea cream, like the lotion or the cream that you wear on your body. And it's been a long time since I smelled that, but I think that's right from what I remember, plus some warmth to it. What I like about this, again, this is the vibe of the season for me. This clean yet cozy and warm kind of smell, little musky, a slight floral in there, and it's like a clean, purpley, cool smelling floral. Looking at the notes would be a little deceiving, so that's why I'm just describing to you what it smells like to me. It's like a skin scent. This isn't a heavy projector. People can smell it on you up close, like when they're near you and in your scent bubble, but it's a lovely skin scent that smells clean, yet fresh, yet warm, yet like it transports you into some sort of cozy cocoon kind of feeling. My husband liked this on me immediately and thought it smelled good. And I was surprised because he's not usually into these kinds of fragrances on me. And I'm just, I'm really enjoying this kind of scent profile so much these days that I feel like I have to create a shelf just for it. I've been buying these kinds of scents like crazy. There are a few others in this lineup that you'll see, but I can't speak highly enough about this except for the longevity factor. So you have to know that going in. I think this bottle was like 100 some odd dollars. I got this at excuse me, Perfumery. You can buy it directly off of their website, and I'm not sure where else it is sold. I think that for the price, this is a great fragrance if you like those sort of your skin but better types of scents that are great for any occasion, office, close quarters with other people, public transportation where you're all up on other people, as you're during rush hour or whatever. Really lovely, very feminine in a very soft way. So in the category of not a safe blind buy, this is one that I purchased from the So Avant-Garde sale. Blind purchase, had never tried it before. Reviews sounded great from a house that I've been exploring more, Botanicae, and this one is called EBANO. So I do, enjoy these bottles with the little stamp on the back, like, representing travels. I will say, I'm not entirely sure if this is one that I will keep in my collection. I think this is one that would smell great on my husband. Had you asked me about 3 years ago, and definitely about 4 years ago when I started this channel, I would have loved this fragrance. I'm at the point now where I can appreciate what it is and realize that maybe this isn't one that I want to wear all the time, but I want to tell you about it in case it's something you're interested in. This is a fragrance that is compared to By the Fireplace. So if you imagine By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela, if you have not tried that, it smells a lot like the way that your clothing smells after you have sat around a bonfire or hearthside and have had a little bit of that smoke on you, but you were also wearing like a vanilla perfume. So those two scents combine into one. It's a very lovely fragrance. I used to own that and think it's great. This does smell a lot like By the Fireplace, and it has an extra depth and also to me, a pronounced cacao note. Like it has a very sort of dark chocolate flair to it and a much more distinct woodiness than By the Fireplace. I think it's a fascinating fragrance. It played well on me. The day that I wore this, it was actually rainy outside and I wanted something cozy and comforting. And this isn't exactly cozy and comforting. It has a cozy nature to it, but not comforting in the sense that it's strong on you. So if you're the kind of person that can imagine a fireside smell plus cacao, and so it's not like a milky gourmandy chocolate, it's more like a dark chocolate, maybe a dark chocolate powder. And the woody aspect of this sounds attractive. Maybe check something like this out. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this one. I want to see if my husband likes this. And if he doesn't, I may put it back on the shelf and try it another time or two to see if it grows on me. I do think it's lovely. Just not sure if I'm feeling this kind of fragrance these days, especially when I'm leaning toward fragrances like Nude and perhaps some of the other ones that I've talked about. But I wanted to share this with you and appreciate that this is a really interesting, complex fragrance from a house that I'm really enjoying lately. Then we go to the worth hunting down category. And if you've been with my channel for a few years, you may remember the story of me trying to hunt down Shalimar Millesime Tonka, which is this bottle here. And I think the story goes that I purchased it abroad. It got caught up in customs mysteriously and then disappeared. And then the vendor wouldn't help me figure out like how to track the thing down. It got caught up on their side. I think I ordered it from somewhere in France. Let me tell you something about our very, very lovely fragrance audience. I mean, you all really come through for a gal. I guess I sounded really pitiful and sad about it because I was so looking forward to getting the fragrance. I had not one, but two amazing viewers send me theirs. They sent me theirs. They just showed up in my P.O. box and at about the same time. And I was like in tears when these arrived. So anyway, I have this one and then a backup. So I do enjoy these dainty Shalimar bottles, sitting on the little tiny pedestal here. This does have the traditional Shalimar DNA, but it's very softened up. So if you're not familiar with Shalimar and have never tried it, it's known for being a powdery scent with a beautiful, soft, delicate vanilla, some citrus, and then also some like leathery slash animalic aspects. And so I don't get any of the animalic aspects in here. I'm not afraid of those aspects. I love leather fragrances, but I don't feel like that's present here. I feel like the addition of tonka bean here gives this a very cozy feeling, very cozy, very fuzzy, warm. Imagine like a faux fur blanket that has been sprayed with like an almost gourmand scent, and you wrap yourself in it and you can start smelling it because your body warmth is like amplifying the sweet nature of it. It's like that. So this is a cozy feminine wear fragrance. I wore this under a sweater, which was perfect, like in the beginning of April on a cool day, and it hit the spot. It hit the spot. So thank you again to the two viewers who sent me their bottles. I just like forever grateful for the kindness of others. In the category of best bottle, I'm gonna give it to Voce Viva Intensa from Valentino. You know, is it the most interesting? No, I actually think this La Belle Flower one is a little bit more interesting, but I gotta give this one credit for doing something different. There are these like geometric indentations on the side that I think are really kind of cool. And I like this sort of dominatrix top here with the maroon on the sides and then the rock studs, I think they call them, the Valentino sort of classic iconic symbol there. So if you haven't tried Voce Viva or the Intensa version, they are very similar. This one has a more pronounced, deeper vanillic base to it, but they are both citrus florals, like classic, generic, perfumey, perfume counter citrus florals. And I love them for that. That is the whole appeal, that you're going to spray this on and smell dang good. And you're going to get a few compliments from folks because it's a profile that just never fails in the air. Citrus florals are like very mass appealing, and this is no different. And the vanilla base makes this a little bit more grown up and maybe gives it a nighttime flair if you need that in your fragrance. Really lovely. Doesn't last the longest. I feel like this was a half a day wear, so it'd be great for like date night, you know, where you're going to be out for a few hours and you want to stun the crowd. This is lovely. The category of the worst bottle, which is a shame. I purchased this one during the So Avant-Garde sale as well. It's from Banana Republic. Would you be interested in a Banana Republic fragrances videos, or is that like a thing of the past? Like, who cares about Banana Republic? But I find that they have some lovely affordable options that I think are mass appealing. Very, very good stuff. So anyway, this one is called W, and it reminds me of a Vegas resort, and I believe the name of the resort is Aria. It's on the strip, the main strip, but like one street off. Like you have to walk behind some other stuff to get there. And it's huge, this enormous, beautiful building, but it has this curved nature to it. And I can't not see that building when I look at this bottle and this goofy W. That said, I got this in the So Avant-Garde sale for something super low, like $30 or $40. This is mostly a citrus white floral with a musky base. And it's all clean smelling. Like if you imagine the smell of shampoo with no fruits, there's fruity floral shampoos, but imagine just a clean floral shampoo. It smells like that. Very fresh, very fresh. Lily of the Valley is the primary floral, musky, clean base. There's something airy, clean, almost like fresh laundry-esque about it. With some citrus to add like a jovial nature to this. You can't go wrong with this as fresh, clean, out of the shower, running errands, day-to-day office scent, really good. Let me know if you're into Banana Republic. Let me know if you've tried this fragrance, but it's the worst bottle because it's huge and clunky and awkward to like, you know, spray or whatever, but great scent. I did not have something for the overhyped category today, so I'm going to switch out that category with my latest craze, a cozy, clean scent. And I did blind buy Glossier U Fleur. So I've tried the original Glossier U. I liked it just fine. Wasn't, you know, super duper crazy about it. I tried the new, is it Doe or Do and Rev? I forget the names of them. The other two new ones, very, very nice fragrances. All of them are nice. This one in particular, I don't know, it touched a special corner of my heart because of the notes. Maybe I'm going into like an I like peach apricot-y smells era. I mean, I've had challenges with peach in the past, but lately I feel like I'm gravitating towards fragrances that have at least an apricot note, which is what is here. And for me, apricot and peach can be a little bit different. Well, there's both osmanthus and peach in La Belle. And so they play very well together here. There is apricot and osmanthus here. So osmanthus is a flower that smells apricot-y. So anyway, if you have not tried the original Glossier U, this one smells almost identical to that, except it has the addition of that sort of fruity, fuzzy, sweet nuance. The base of this is ambroxan. I want to share that for people that are ambroxan averse. I like ambroxan myself. And the middle notes are what you smell the most, in my opinion: apricot, cashmere, ylang ylang, maybe, and osmanthus. Anyway, point being, this has a lovely, soft, delicate, fruity nature to it, like almost like a sweet fuzziness that reminds me a little bit of 22 Oris from Letta, if you have tried that fragrance. Those two, these could be cousins. That one and this one, they play double dutch together. Those two, those those are the friends rounding up all the girls in the yard to play double dutch. It has that kind of like soft, warm, delicate, musky nature to it. Oh, oh, this is the kind of fragrance you spray on and it just makes you want to hug yourself. I will say, for those of you that have tried this in store and passed it by because you didn't smell much, I can see that. So this is one that you have to try in the quiet and clarity of your own home, because other fragrances will drown it out. It is very tender. It is very light. It is not obtrusive at all. It is a skin scent. And it is so lovely. Definitely worth trying out. Doesn't last very long. You might get a half a day out of it. You got to reapply. I don't care. I think it's great. All right, we're gonna go next into the lows, the middles, and the highs for the month. And I do unfortunately have some lows that I need to tell you about. I'm really sad because two of these I actually paid for, two were sent in PR. So let me talk about the ones that I paid for, also in the So Avant-Garde sale. I think maybe one of you suggested this fragrance, and I'm so sorry this did not work out for me, but I can see why you love it, and I can see why other people love it. Oh my gosh, the reviews on this, people either were like, no, or yes, skies opened up. This is from Miller Harris. It's called HYDRA Fig. This is going to go on Mercari. I have taken the pictures. I just need to put the listing together. Maybe it'll be up by the time this video posts. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When I first sprayed this on, I was like, "Ooh, Miller Harris hit it out of the park." It definitely has a lovely sort of fig note. There's like this marine saltiness to this, even like a creamy texture. Like, it really took me aback with how original and interesting this fragrance is. And I thought, now we're talking about something. Here's something original, different. I haven't really smelled anything else like it. I like this. This is going to be interesting, unique, and different. It was giving me slight vibes of Lineage from Amouage, or maybe even like the parts of blue turquoise from Armani that I did like. If you've tried that fragrance, I'm trying to think what else. Any number of fragrances that have fig and like any kind of marini accord. Lineage doesn't have fig. Neither does blue turquoise. Now that I come to think about it, I don't think. Gave me a tiny hint of Womanity by Mugler, and I found it unique and interesting in its own right. The challenge came in the dry down, where this just smelled stale. That was the only word that I could think of, and I tried this twice. I dedicated 2 days of my perfume science life to try this fragrance out, just to make sure I didn't have, a bad experience the first day that wasn't characteristic of what it would smell like. Mm-mm. No, this did not work out. It became very stale and tired on my skin about 2 hours in, and I'm gonna have to say no to this. If this is for you, or you've been wanting to try this, I'll try to put it out on Mercari for a good price. May it go to a happy home, and may someone love you in the way that I cannot. Unfortunately, I had a similar experience. I'm kind of sad about this one because I just knew I was going to love this. Superfusion from J.U.S. or Juice. I like this milky bottle, and I was anticipating that the bottle was a hint about how it would smell. Notes here, for all intents and purposes, this should have been a slam dunk. Heliotrope, Immortelle, Isoe Super. I happen to like Isoe Super. Hedione. Yes, sign me up. Musk, ambroxan, so and more, but that's what stands out to me. Do I smell those things? Yes and no. Yes and no. For me, this smells like how fresh paper smells, with a very light musk, a very slight touch of grape powder. I can smell something a little bit peppery, but again, the net effect of this on me is that I felt like I was wearing a fragrance that belonged to someone else, and it got from me a little bit stale on me. I have heard other people say they've had great experience with this fragrance and really like it as a sort of clean, fresh, everyday, running errands kind of musky smell, your skin but better type of deal. But it just didn't jive with me, and I can't really explain why, except to say that the word stale came to mind as well as it did with Hydra Fig. That was my experience, so this one will also be on Mercari. Then we go to two that I have to put in the low category, mostly because I don't think that they are for me, but I do appreciate what they are, and I think they're beautiful in their own right. So I don't have bad things to say about them. This next one was sent in PR, and it is from Perroy. This is called Blonde Purple. You may be seeing a number of content creators talking about this. It has been sent out to get the name out about this newer brand. This particular one was launched last year. This is another one that should have been a slam dunk. Mango, black currant, ylang ylang. I don't know, it's the kind of fragrance that I could see smelling great in the air. My husband liked this. It didn't feel right for me, and it's hard to explain why. Yes, I can get something juicy like a tropical mango, very light and slight. I mean, there are some mango fragrances that are really pronounced, like, look, Guava Granita is a very literal tropical fragrance. This one is a little bit more interpretive. Ylang-ylang can be an interesting floral note in that it can have lots of different nuances to it. It can smell banana-esque. It can smell like a yellow tropical floral. It can be a little bit strong and pungent. And to some people, it can smell a little animalic, meaning like a little bit like urine. The same is true of black currant. Sometimes it can show up smelling deep, dark, berry fruity sweetness. Other times it can be a little bit green, have a little bit of like an ammonia touch to it. Do I think this is an interesting fragrance? I absolutely do. Is this something that I want to wear? I feel like it's too strong of something for me and I can't describe what that is, but it didn't work out. And so it being PR, it will go into my giveaway pile. It's not something that I can put on Mercari or feel comfortable putting on Mercari. But have you tried this fragrance? If so, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I give it a thumbs up, just not for me, from my shelves. Does that make sense? Then I really, really like the next fragrance. This was also sent by So Avant-Garde in PR. I don't think it is one that I want, and I want to share why. This is Gingembre Latte from Affinescence. So this is a brand that is known for having delightful scents that maybe don't last the longest. I have Sental Basmati from this line. Beautiful rice sandalwood scent, maybe half a day at the most. If you get 3 or 4 hours, that's great. But anyway, this one I feel like is the same way. It dies down into something really soft. It opens fairly strongly. It is a ginger fragrance with tea. It's ginger and tea through and through. And it has a little bit for me of like, and I mean this in a good way, almost like a little bit of an ashy background. It works in here, but just not for me. Like I could see smelling this on my husband. I had him try it on. He wasn't crazy about it, but I think it's a really nice scent. Just not for me. Little woodiness, maybe even a little bit of smokiness, like ashy smokiness. Very curious, very interesting scent. I can see a gentleman in like an argyle sweater smelling like this. I can see someone who smokes a tobacco pipe really enjoying a scent like this and like a dark library. It's got some body to it. It's very interesting, but it's not for me. And so this is also going to go into a giveaway pile, Gingembre Latte. In the medium category, I have two, and you have heard a lot about one of these, so I'll talk about it super quickly and why I like it. I did wear two Kayalis this month, the new, oh my gosh, I've already forgotten the long name. Flora Royal Majesty Rose something. Lovely, lovely fragrance. We've heard all about it. And so I wanted to talk about in the middle category, Yum Bougie Marshmallow. And the reason that it's in the middle category is because this is a fragrance that smells super good on the opening. Ooh, did I like this. It's very another sort of cozy, marshmallow, sweet, like pink smelling fragrance. What are the notes here? Strawberry is probably what's giving it the pinkness. Pink marshmallow, creamy coconut, whipped vanilla, pink musk. Yes, it's all of those things. It's so delightful. It makes me smell. It makes me smell. It makes me smell. Let me say that a different way. This is what I wanted Boardwalk. Is it called Boardwalk Delight? From Skylar to smell like Boardwalk Taffy? I think I'm mixing up names. Whatever the Skylar one is that has the boardwalk in the title, I wanted that one to smell like the opening of this. So pretty, all of those things. I feel like in the deep dry down of this fragrance, it gets a tad on the smoky side. Does anyone else get that? I can't imagine what would be giving it that from the note structure. Is it just me? Am I crazy? I've worn this twice now and that has happened. I still like it a lot, and that's why it's in the middle category, so it will stay there. And if this isn't the prettiest nudie pinky bottle, which I am all about these days, ding, 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 winner for the bottle. I also want to share another Banana Republic fragrance, and this is Tuberose Overdose, which is very much tuberose heavy, tuberose dominant. It's got some spiciness to it. And I want to say it has something in the darker citrus direction, like a deeper, darker orange scent. Really interesting. My husband loved this on me. And I just wondered, is this a beautiful enough fragrance to stay in my collection when I am a tuberose fanatic and have so many beautiful ones? It gave me vibes of like Rouge Malachite and Quattro Pizzi. I have both of those. I'm just not sure if I need another one that's in a similar scent profile. Can you have too many tuberose fragrances if you're a tuberose lover? We shall see. The jury's out. If you like both of those fragrances and want something that's a little bit more in the affordable direction, this one you can get on So Avant Garde often for like 40% off, okay? Which puts it, I think, in the $40 or $50 range, and it's a really interesting scent. In the high category, the stars for the month, aside from the ones that I've already told you I really love, so this is just like an opportunity to chat about some additional ones that are fabulous. So this one grew on me when I first tried this. I was like, that's nice, kind of put it on the shelf, play with it here and there, wore it. And then I recently wore it again, and it's like the light bulb turned off, and I was like, I totally get the big hype around this. From Maison Francis Kurkdjian, this is 724. Again, maybe because I am in the era of cozy and clean, fresh and creamy, those kinds of fragrances. This strikes me as all of that. It immediately put me in the mindset of another fragrance in this category that I really like and need to pull back out for spring here. And it's called Borelli from Tiziana Terenzi, that has that sort of creamy soapiness. That's it. You get clean soapiness, a touch of creaminess, definitely nice white florals in here. It's almost sparkling and creamy at the same time, and it just does the job. You don't need to spray a lot. I unfortunately sprayed a lot the day that I wore this and nearly choked myself out. You don't need a whole lot, okay? A few sprays will project. It lasted a long time, and it's an elegant, lovely, clean scent. Thumbs up on this. I forgot to put this next one in the Gritty video lineup, and I am sad about that. If you haven't watched a Gritty video and you're interested in that house, I did a whole overview recently. And I mean, I have the bottle. I don't know what I was thinking. I just forgot to pull it off the shelf. This is called Because I'm Free. And I have described this as a tropical tuberose that has some candied notes in it. And it almost smells like it has some honey. So let me tell you about some of the notes here. Candied fruits, almond blossom at the top stand out to me, tuberose and banana flower in the middle, and in the bottom, in the base, caramel, vanilla, and amber. It's a deep fragrance that reminds me a lot of like a tropical flare. One of our friends out here, Karen Hey Girl Hey, said that it reminded her a lot of the L'Entrée line, and I actually get that now. At first I was like, oh, I would not have associated those two, but after she said that, I was like, I get it. I can understand how this does smell a lot like the L'Entrée line. I would say it's like that plus a tropical flare that really comes through as the fragrance starts to develop on your skin. And it's long lasting and very pretty and a compliment getter. Because I'm Free. I will end with a fragrance that I have started to jokingly and lovingly call the baby maker. The baby maker. This is Flower Bomb Extreme. If this isn't one of the most beautiful newer releases of the year. This one has the addition of a raspberry note, which to me is neither here nor there. I think you smell that a little bit in the opening, but it's not for me the key feature of the fragrance. What I especially love about this is because I am a Flower Bomb fan. If you haven't smelled that original, it's got a lot of florals, some patchouli, a tea note. It was very sort of original for its day. This is like Flower Bomb on steroids. Like it was amped up and the vanilla was increased in here to make it even sexier. I think this is so good. Husband loves this on me. I love it on me. I think I smell sexy AF when I have this on. Very long lasting, very projecting. You will get noticed with this fragrance. So good. And looking at the notes, there's also orange blossom, jasmine, and rose in the middle. For me, that just comes across like a beautiful melange of florals. So this is so fantastic. Long lasting, love the nudie pink bottle. We're having a nudie pink phase. My nail color, just loving that. My shirt is a nudie pink. We're loving the nudie pink bottles. Yeah. So that was a super long April Fragrance Awards. Are you here? If so, can you drop a flower down in the comment to let us know that you made it all the way through? I totally appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you care to, let us know what your favorite fragrance from April was for you. Take care. See you in the next video.